Privacy, security. I think I heard somebody say that we're going to see a massive hack in 2012.
Did we already see that with Sony? 72 million people.
Yeah.
You know.
Even more massive hack.
The U.S. government, Facebook. I mean, I think it's diabolical the way that companies get away with what they get away with.
There's the new carrier IQ thing that came out this week with the ways in which a lot of Android and Nokia phones are having key logging really.
Right.
So. I think, you know what I do think will happen in 2012, actually, bold prediction, that these things will get hacked.
The iPhone?
And the iPhone, Android, whatever it is, that mobile devices will start to get hacked more because
they already are.
They already are, but not, there hasn't been like a big Sony-esque hacking of these things. And the amount of information that is on them, the amount of personal data.
And worse, the amount of commerce that's starting to happen on
Yeah.
right? It's amazing.
Yeah.
No, like, it's a confluence of just terrible things from a security perspective, right? So increasing use of social, so people leaking out company information via social all the time. You've got these services like Dropbox where people are putting things they shouldn't be putting into the cloud. Increasing use of cloud services, increasing use of apps, right? Particularly in the Android environment where they're not all vetted. Right? These are all terrible things from a security perspective, and they're all coming to the fore at once. And the security solutions aren't keeping up with these things, and IT shops aren't keeping up with these things. Cloud providers, I think, will have a very difficult time keeping up with these things.
And if you look on some of the security websites and some of the guys that follow all the hacks and things like that, and some of the things that they put on about the vulnerabilities in these devices, it's pretty scary. And if you were a hacker, would you want to hack my computer, or would you rather get a hold of this device where you have my banking, my Amazon shopping, the iTunes things I buy, all of these different things?
Your voicemail?
Everything. My voicemail, the people I call the most. You know, there's so many different ways that you can make actual money from this thing. That you know, online, the statistic that our privacy is on average worth about $2 per person online. So when they hacked into Sony and the amount of money that they made, hackers made from that, or wherever it is, it works out to be about $2 per person. That's for your social security number, your address, your phone number, all these different things. With this, that number is much, much higher because there's much more at stake and there's much more money involved.
Right, I guess if you can hack texts, you can get $2 in 2 minutes. So who's the next big CEO flameout?
Didn't you already ask that one?
Go ahead, Harry.
CEO flame?
Gosh.
Tim Cook, just kidding.
I wouldn't bet in favor of it, but you got to wonder with, when a company loses 75% of its market cap, in the case of Netflix, what happens? I mean, obviously he's synonymous with the brand, he founded it, he serves several roles, he seems to have the backing. It may well not happen, it may well shouldn't happen, but you're going to be looking for some sort of serious changes at that company.
Although in defense of Reed Hastings, I would say that he's written one "I'm so sorry" email letter to his customers, and what Zuckerberg's written like 25. Not that I think that Zuckerberg.
I'm sure Mark is calling him for advice now.
If RIM still has 2 CEOs at the end of this coming year, I'll be surprised. It's one too many, and that who knows whether whoever is in charge of the company will be either of those guys a year from now.
So clearly, I'm not getting any interviews with Andrew Mason. Maybe I'd say him.
I'm going to say Dick Costello.
Ooh.
I know.
Why?
Controversial.
Actually, I'm curious to hear what people have to think. What people say about CEO flameout Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've seen a lot of folks leaving Twitter recently. I think there's a lot of concern of investors.
But Jack's behind that, isn't he? I mean, it seems that those are kind of, a lot of the people that are leaving were Ev and Biz's people.
Yeah, there's definitely a.
So I don't know if it really has anything to do with Dick,
right?
As much as it has to do with Jack.
I just wonder how, there's been a lot of transition at Twitter over the past year. You've had people that have left, whether they've been fired or
Founders
they've
have
left.
Yeah.
What's that?
The founders have left.
Yeah.
You got to think of the
founders have
timeline.
left,
Things are.
People on the board have left. Fred Wilson.
PR team.
People in PR. There's a lot of transition that's taking place. And my question is this part of the larger plan, or is this a company that's trying to figure out? They're not going anywhere. That's not even a question, right?
Right.
It's just not a question.
But
Twitter
the
is
product
here.
still has major issues that seem so elementary. I mean, still my DMs don't work. It just doesn't work on my computer, on my BlackBerry it doesn't work. The only place it works is the iPhone. I don't understand. Why is that? Why can't they fix that?
Twitter is a really opaque company in a lot of ways. I feel like nobody on the outside really knows what they're trying to do over the next few years.
That's it. Everyone just agrees.
So I stand by my prediction.
Yeah.
But put it another way, I feel like I don't understand what Twitter is trying to do. Maybe you guys do.
Twitter, you know, they process 250 million tweets a day. I mean, look, it is a company that is not going anywhere, right, by any means. If worst case scenario, be purchased by Google or Apple or somebody, right? The question is, and
I've heard, I mean, I've been told by investors Apple could potentially buy Twitter, that might be
it wouldn't put it
scenario.
past them. That would make sense. But I think that the question is Twitter is a communications platform. No one will disagree with that. But where does it go? You know, what's next? You know, three-way calling. You know, like caller ID. Like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like the transition the phone companies went through was you know there was clear winners and then they innovated. What's next for Twitter? Where's the innovation?
What's the big TV story of 2012?
Oh, 2012. Can we talk about 2013?
Or what is it not? Are you saying Apple TV? The Apple Television is not coming in 2012?
It's definitely not 2012. Anyone?
Definitely not 2012.
Some analysts say it is.
I disagree. I don't see how they can build a. There's going to be this video. It's going to be an Apple Television in like 6 months. There's going to be this video of me being like, I don't see what you're talking about. That's risky.
It'll be on an Apple Television, right?
No, maybe it's a possibility. I don't know. I just think that there's
Don't back down now.
No, there's so much work that they have to do to get that right, and I truly believe that they are going to wait until the margins come down to build a device. But at the same time, the Apple TV, the little square thing that some people buy, like that, it's $100. So they got to stuff that in there, throw a couple of cameras and some microphones, and they have an Apple TV. But I still think it's going to be a while before they get it to the price point that makes sense for Apple to make enough money off it.
Who disagrees?
I think if they do it, it's going to be very late in 2012, and it's going to be after we've already seen the Apple TV pick up more iOS App Store-esque features, being able to really expand the Apple TV.
But do you think they do it?
I would go with 2013 also if they were to do it, but if they do it in 2012, it's going to be very late in 2012.
Who thinks they do it in 2012?
Didn't two people say that?
I said it. But I'm guessing he has better Apple searches than me, so I'm starting to
Somebody
question.
own
Don't
up
back
to
down,
it.
James. Don't back down.
My prediction is not based on a phone call with Steve Jobs. It's based on just the logic of what of just the price points and things like that. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I mean, I don't have any reporting that suggests to me that it's going to happen next year. I think the one, I've just read plenty of people who do think it might happen, and I think that Apple is probably, Tim Cook really wants a win. They really want to deliver something that's a knockout success in 2012 to sort of.
Because Lord knows they need one.
Well, no, what they do because they want nothing more than to avoid the narrative taking hold that Apple was Steve Jobs, and Apple can't operate without Steve Jobs. So that's what I base that on.
But isn't it going to be the iPhone 5 and the iPad 3?
Yeah,
Those are going to come out.
That's
Is
continued
it?
evolution.
But those
Iterations.
yeah, exactly. Those
That's
sort of-
iteration.
That's iteration off of a device that has already sort of.
Which gets harder and harder to
Yeah.
do.
I think they'll get plenty of momentum from those two products.
I think a company to keep a lookout for, and I don't necessarily know they will make it. And this is strictly just me, making things up in my head. But Amazon, right? Amazon is moving into it's a media company, right? Why wouldn't they get involved in the television space?
Interesting. I did predict an Amazon phone. I must.
And
own up to
I've
that.
done reporting that has said that they originally, when they started the lab that did Kindle, that was not just about doing Kindle, it was about other devices, including a phone.
Yes.
So why not a television?
Yes.
I do know that consumers don't want another thing to plug into their television, which is where, I think we've learned that. So why wouldn't Amazon? I mean, if you go on Amazon's website now and search for like USB keys and wires and Ethernets and things like that, they're now Amazon branded all of those things that exist, right? So they're clearly becoming a Walmart, Kmart-esque company online, well, why wouldn't they do that with a TV?